And so, Mr. Clerk, if you're ready.
Roll call.
Today is Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. The time is 5:39. Yes, please. Roll call.
Roll call. Councilmember Johnson.
Here.
Councilmember Henderson.
Here.
Councilmember Martinson.
Here.
Councilmember Topcock.
Bonito nga.
Councilmember Miller. And Councilmember Piscoya.
Councilmember Piscoya is excused due to a conflict of interest. This, by the way, is the Board of Equalization continuation. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make that motion. Second.
And just for clarification, B and C are simply attachments to A. Member Henderson, Member Johnson, a roll call please on approval of agenda.
Roll call for approval of agenda. Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Martinson.
Yes.
Councilmember Topcock.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, then we'll move on to citizens' comments. Are there members of the audience who would like to address the board this evening? Seeing none, we will move on then to unfinished business. And this is in the matter of 4 properties appealed by various North and Sound Health Corporation. Block 91, lots 3 and 4, the 7-plex property. Mineral Survey 1298, the 20-plex property. Block 110, lots 1 and 2, the BHS property. And block 110, lot 3A, the state lease property, also known as the Hat property. At our last meeting, the board did vote, and the results of those votes are that the appeals were all left, or were not affirmed. The assessor's decision was affirmed. We had asked North Sound Health Corporation and their counsel to provide some draft findings of facts, conclusions of law, as well as those then from the city assessor, being represented by Charles Cassiola, the City of Nome legal counsel. The board is represented by Sam Severin as our legal counsel. Sam came up with a way, I think, that we can resolve this matter, because there was a differing of opinion on which findings of fact the members would support. And so in the documents, there has been made reference then to the votes that occurred on both sides of the issue, one to accept the assessors and one to accept the ones from the appellant. This is enumerated in the drafted document. And Mr. Severin, would you please add to anything there that is necessary?
Yes, glad to. I think you captured it. If everyone has had a chance to review the the findings of fact and conclusion of law that is before you now, it just reflects the differing opinions by saying that those voting in the majority would have done so for the reasons stated in the assessors, and those voting against would have done so for the reasons stated in Norton Sound's proposed findings. I think that rather neatly allows both sides to be, the opinions to be represented. And these findings of fact are it's necessary for a court to have to review, and it's just necessary. So I think that this reflects the voting well. And the one quick thing while I have the floor, this is very minor, but it is in Norton Sound's proposed findings. There is a highlight that got picked up somewhere. It is on page 23 of the PDF, but it's finding number 25. That highlight means nothing. It is just a mistake that worked its way in there somehow. So I would just suggest, I want to raise that now before people vote to adopt this, and just suggest that the clerk or someone remove that highlight before I think a vote now is appropriate, but it should just not be a final version made. Should just remove that highlight. It was just essentially a typo.
Okay, and then the same thing then with regard to the assessors. I had noted at the last meeting that there were several ministerial corrections or adjustments, which were primarily punctuation or tense, where the word in the document was the, and it should have been their duties. So those types of things were cleaned up from the original one that was printed in the original packet. So are there any questions? Well, I guess we probably should have a motion to adopt the findings of fact and conclusions of law, and then address any questions or concerns with regard to any of this process.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Member Henderson and Member Martinson. Okay, are there any clarifications or questions with regard to how this was ultimately put together?
Is the motion to adopt both things that we're doing one of the?
They would be adopted just by doing this very document here, because in this document, it references the attachment. Well, the one is popping out. Oh, okay. On the second page, you'll see about the fourth, fifth sentence down, Exhibit A. And then a few more down, there's Exhibit B in italics. So that's just referencing the other two documents that are behind there.
Gotcha. Thank you for clarification.
I don't have any questions.
Member Topcock on the phone, do you have any questions?
No, not at the moment, thanks.
Okay. Any other matters before we ask for a roll call?
So just, I don't have any paper copies, but there you go. Thank you. I just want to make sure it's the same one that's on the agenda for tonight.
Yes.
That's the same one?
Yep. Okay, Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Martinson,
Yes.
Councilmember Topcock.
Yes.
Thank you. The findings of facts, conclusions of laws have been adopted. And with that, I adjourn the 2024 session of the Board of Equalization. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.